Hey guys, my name is Mike Carleo, and this is my 9th installment of my Guitar Player Backpack. And today, I'm going to be speaking about modes. Now, a mode derives from the major scale, a 7-note scale or other known as the diatonic scale. And each scale degree is going to create a new mode or a different tonality traditionally used in Western music. So I'm going to approach this through the major scale. Now, whether you play gospel, jazz, or even rock and roll, modes can play an integral part in your guitar soloing. So, let's get started. Because there are 7 scale degrees, there are going to be 7 different modes. The first one is called Ionian, the second Dorian, the third Phrygian, the fourth Lydian, the fifth Mixolydian, the sixth Aeolian, and the 7th Locrian. Now, I'm going to use 7 specific fingerings for these 7 different modes. So we can try to be able to approach them in a vertical way and then connect them in a horizontal way. Let's get started. Today, I'm going to be using the G major scale as my example to teach you the 7 different modes. Now, a G major scale only has one sharp, and that sharp is F sharp. So the scale will be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then G. There are 2 things to note while we do these certain fingerings. The first thing is that 5 out of the 6 strings are going to have 3 notes on the string. So out of the 6, 5 of them will have 3. And then the other string is only going to have 2. So be aware on these transitions. It's going to be either the G or the B string. Now the second thing is that the notes can extend up to 5 frets away from each other. So fingering is very important while we do this. So let's get started with our first mode, Ionian. We're going to start on the 3rd position, and our first finger is going to press on G on the 3rd fret of the big E string. And then our second note is A. We're going to use our second finger on the 5th fret. And then the next note is B. We're going to use our 4th finger on the 7th fret. Then the next string is C, which is the 3rd fret of the A string. D, which is the 5th fret. And E, which is the 7th fret. Then we move to the next string. Now we can either use our 1st or 2nd finger. I'm going to use my 1st. Our 1st finger on the F sharp, which is the 4th fret of the D string. And then we have our octave G. 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the D. And then A again, 7th fret of the D. B, which is on the G string on the 4th fret. C, which is our 5th fret of the G string. And then I'm going to reach back with my 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, which is D. Then E, 5th fret. And I'm going to reach my pinky, 7th fret for F sharp. G, 3rd fret with my 1st finger of the little E string, A, and then B on the 7th fret. So I want to play as many notes as I can within the vertical position. So let's do this in its entirety. Now, if you were a bass player, you can only use your 2nd finger to reach. They never use their 3rd finger. But some people do use their 3rd finger to play that 2nd note of the scale or of the string instead of our 2nd finger. So you could use the 3rd or the 2nd. I use the 2nd because it's stronger than our 3rd. And also we have more reach with our pinky. So that's Ionian. The second mode, Dorian, is going to start on the 2nd scale degree, A, on the 5th position. So we're going to use our 1st finger on the 5th fret of the big E string. So we're going to go 1 on the 5th fret, 3 on the 7th fret, which is B, and then 4 on C, which is the 8th fret. And then we're going to the next string, which is D. Our 1st finger on the 5th fret, 3rd or 2nd finger with on the 7th fret, which is E. 4th finger on the 9th fret, which is F sharp, and then we go to the next string, the D string, 1st finger on the 5th fret, 3rd or 2nd finger on the 7th fret, which is A, again, 4th finger on B, which is the 9th fret of the D, 1st finger on the 5th fret of the G string, which is C, and then 3rd finger on the 7th fret, which is D, next string, 1st finger 5th fret of the B string, which is E, F sharp, which is the 7th fret of the B string, and then G, which is our 4th finger on the 8th fret, 1st finger on the 5th fret of the little E string, which is A, 3rd finger on B, which is the 7th fret of the little E string, and then C, which is the 4th finger on the 8th fret of the little E string. So the string again, which only had 2 notes, was the G string. So that's the only 2 notes on that, but everything else has 3. So here is the scale, the mode in its entirety. And that's Dorian. The third mode, Phrygian, is going to start on the 3rd scale degree of G major. So that note is B. So we're going to be starting on the 7th position, and we're only going to be utilizing this time 4 frets. So we're going to be utilizing our 1st finger on 7, our 2nd finger on 8, our 3rd finger on 9, and our 4th finger on 10. So I'll be using finger numbers for this one to make it a little bit faster. So it's going to be 1, 2, 4. Next string, 1, 3, 4. Next string, 1, 3, 4. Next string, the G string, 1, 3, only 2 notes. Then the next string, 1, 2, 4. And the last string, 1, 2, 4. So we have 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So here is Phrygian, the 3rd mode, in its entirety. So that was part 1 on my modes installment. Part 2 is going to have the last 4 modes: Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. So if you check out the next video, you'll be able to get the next 4 fingerings for that. If you'd like to know about me more, you can check me out at my website below, michaelcarleo.com, for more information. And you can study with me online or in person. Thanks for checking this one out, and I'll see you next time.